What famous entrepreneur and inventor has spoken publicly about having dyslexia? I can't tell you. I couldn't tell you. You've got Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Boop, 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 boop.
And it's
Bill Gates. It's not Mark Zuckerberg.
It's not Mark Zuckerberg.
Is it Bill Gates? He's Asperger, isn't he? I know he's Asperger.
Yeah, but he didn't talk about it.
Elon Musk is also Asperger, isn't he?
Yeah,
autistic.
Yeah, autistic. Yeah.
Steve Jobs must be Steve Jobs.
It is.
He's the guy from Mac.
Apple, yeah.
Apple guy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mac. He invented the Mac, so to speak.
Right.
Who's no longer with us at the moment, I don't think.
At the moment, he's coming back.
He's coming back.
He's
Yeah,
got the
I'm
money,
sure
hasn't he?
He has.
So Steve Jobs, what did he got to say about it all?
No, it's just that he came out and said, I've got no idea what he said about it, I just know that he was coming out. And it was reported about his genius and that, but he was a horrible individual because he didn't have the capacity to understand certain things and doing things. But it didn't matter because he focused on that. But I think it was a matter of he could see things in a different way, and you spoke about it,
3D visualization,
3D visualization, and he could see it encompass everything. But I don't think it's the name that's important. I think it's knowing that there are, whether they're famous for whatever, it's why did they get to where they are? Was it because, I think you mentioned, is it because of the dyslexia or in spite of dyslexia, so to speak?
Well, then you get into it, you know, Richard Branson, didn't he say he was dyslexic?
Yeah.
Richard Branson. I'll tell you an interesting one, I might have told you this, was Steve Jones, the guitarist from the Sex Pistols, is dyslexic ADHD, and you might go, well, he's just a bit of a git, but actually no, he's a bloke in his 60s now, but he's actually a very highly respected session musician, plays on all sorts of stuff. He's played with Bob Dylan and he's done all sorts of things, you know, and he apparently totally focused and he learnt to play guitar in a weekend.
Right, yeah.
He did it in 3 days or something like that. And so, you know, and that's again, we do get hyper-focus in dyslexia, although he's ADHD as well. We had in the answer to one of the questions, I believe that 3 of the Beatles were dyslexic. Just there's so much evidence there to pull out. If they were in my class as a child, they go, oh, gotcha, you know. And so we've got all that sort of thing. And wasn't Mozart supposed to be?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure Mozart was apparently dyslexic. I shouldn't imagine he had any screening, but we got so much information about Mozart that we can piece the story together enough to go, yeah, Mozart probably dyslexic. Bit like we know that Oscar Schindler's ADHD. With our modern knowledge, we can piece it together and say, yeah, actually that's probably right.
And I think by looking at the famous names in history and even now, is to sort of say it's not an issue, it's not something to hold you back, it's there to inspire you to sort of say you can go on and do.
I would very much love to own Steve Jones's ocean-fronted property in LA.
Yes.
that would suit me.
Yeah. Or Richard Branson's little island that he has.
Has he got a little island?
Yes.
Has he? Only a little one now. Can I just point something out I've noticed here though? It's all men. It's all men. Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. You know, we mentioned Richard Branson, Mozart, Steve Jones.
So Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna go.
Right. So it's interesting.
But yes.
I was because actually, Whoopi Goldberg. I knew she was dyslexic actually. What I'm saying is, in actual fact, the figures that we've got, approximately 80% of dyslexia is male anyway.
Yeah.
And it's not like autism and ADHD when it's around the diagnosis. This is when it's, you know, this is 80%. We think it is 80%, it's male.
Right.
And so that's an accurate figure, but, you know, I can't think, I think, I can never remember this woman's name. But again, famous actor, she, the one that burst out crying at the Oscars, do you remember that one?
I never really watched Oscars.
No.
I think, no, you're not thinking of Olivia Colman?
No. But anyway, You know, it's this, but there's not many. You're really struggling to name female dyslexics. Listeners, viewers, if you know better, let us know. Yeah,
definitely. And it's just something that I haven't even. You see, that's again attention to detail sometimes, and that I hadn't even noticed at the men and nothing.
Well, I'll tell you
and
why.
Maybe I should have looked at other alternatives.
I'll tell you why I'm sensitive to it. I used to run workshops for Bishop Grosseteste University, and they said, Andrew, can you do us a gifted, talented neighbour workshop? I said, yeah, great. And I thought, what I'll do is I'll start off with people who failed at school and then have gone on to be really kind of very, very, very successful. So people who failed at school was it Michael? No. Was it Michael Jordan? But anyway, one of the big world basketball players was thrown off the basketball team. You know, Winston Churchill failed at school. Jeremy Paxman failed at school. Eric Morecambe failed at school. You know,
no surprise.
but went on to great things. Really, truly. And I handed it all in to be moderated by the university to see if it would. And they came back to me and said, "You've got no women." I said, "Oh," and that's right, because at this point Michael Jordan wasn't in it. So I was really ashamed because I've got 2 daughters. You know, I should have been a bit more, but I was just getting on and Googling, you know. And then I did it so we had women in there, and they said, "You've got nobody of colour." And so I went back, and that's when I think Michael Jordan got added and people like that. So that's why I'm scarred.
Yes.
Because of my embarrassment and shame from those years ago. And so, but yeah, interesting stuff. If you've got any others, you know, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. And I think we've spoken before, neurodiversity and that superpowers.
Yeah.
I think dyslexia is a superpower in its own because of that, being able to, for a lot, not all, to have that 3D visualization and things like that. But also the need to adapt.
Can I just talk about that? Yeah, with that I remember, I do mention this in my workshops. Dyslexia is a very sensitive subject, and so if I'm running a dyslexia workshop and there's a technician there setting up the IT or something like that, and you know, quite often they go, "Oh yeah," if it's men particularly, "Oh yeah, I think I was." They don't say I'm dyslexic. They go, "Yeah, I think I was dyslexic at school," you know, and yeah, still am a bit, you know, and all the rest of it. And you go, yeah, but actually, you know, you've just spent the last 10 minutes here problem solving a computer that won't connect to a screen, or trying to get the Wi-Fi onto this when it's not really letting you and stuff like that. And they always get it done, you know. It's that holistic visualization. It's that problem solver. So you might not be earning a load of money as a handyman and a technician, by golly, you'd be hard to replace. Yeah. You know, that's the thing. So yeah, interesting stuff.